A mysterious man shows up at a quiet family's doorstep, claiming to be the best friend of their fallen soldier son. But here's the twist: this man was reported dead in a fire a week before. So, who is he really? A middle-aged couple lives a peaceful life in a small town with their teenage daughter and young son. They once had an older son, a soldier who tragically lost his life in battle. His passing left a deep scar, especially for his mother. One day, a man named David appears at their front door. He says he was a close comrade of their son and that he's come to fulfill his friend's last wish, to visit his family. Injured in combat, David had been discharged early. Hearing this, the mother is overwhelmed with emotion. Although David tries to leave, she insists he stay. Her daughter, a blonde teenager, walks in to find her mother chatting warmly with a stranger. David introduces himself again, and though he plans to head to a local motel, the mother begs him to stay. She wants to hear more about her son's life in the army. David reluctantly agrees and moves into the fallen soldier's old room. The younger son, who is often bullied at school, hides his suffering from the family. Meanwhile, the father, skeptical of David's sudden appearance, expresses concern. To him, David's background is unclear, and as a veteran, he might be dealing with post-traumatic issues. When David notices bruises on the young boy's face, the boy lies, saying he got hit by a football. But David immediately suspects it was from a fight. Though the father is uneasy about having David in their home, David's calm demeanor makes it difficult to object. That night, while chatting, the father vents his frustration. He worked hard for years only to be passed over for a promotion by a younger, more educated colleague. David originally planned to leave the next day. But seeing the father finally open up, he decides to stay a bit longer. The following day, David picks up the boy from school and asks him to point out the bullies. Then he drives the boy to a nearby bar where the bullies hang out. Things escalate, and a fight breaks out. Though the boy gets slightly injured, the bullies suffer worse. David has made his point: no one messes with his friend's family. That evening, the daughter plans to attend a party. Her mother insists she bring David along for safety. Before leaving, David takes a shower, and as he steps out in a towel, the daughter catches a glimpse of his sculpted body. She's visibly flustered. At the party, David even helps out with some heavy lifting. One of the daughter's friends vents to him about her obsessive ex-boyfriend, who, coincidentally, shows up moments later. David steps in and knocks him out cold, leaving the friend both shocked and impressed. David then meets another party guest and asks him for a favor: to bury a few firearms. The next morning, the daughter overhears David on a phone call, talking about hiding his identity and referencing plastic surgery. Now suspicious, she calls a military base to verify his story. When officials receive the inquiry, one man, an army investigator, immediately recognizes the name and is alarmed. He decides to visit the family himself. Meanwhile, David arrives at the agreed location to meet the arms dealer and the party guest. After confirming the goods, David unexpectedly kills them both. Back home, the daughter receives a chilling call from the army base: the real David had died in a fire a week ago. Shocked, she tells her parents. The father then shares some unexpected good news: his rival at work had died suddenly, and now he's been offered the promotion. But her boyfriend soon calls again with more disturbing news: the police found the murder weapon used in a recent crime hidden in his car, along with drugs at his home. Putting the pieces together, the daughter becomes convinced David is the killer. Determined to prove it, she takes photos of the number he called. Her boyfriend later identifies it as belonging to a disgraced plastic surgeon. Everything points to David having altered his identity. Her younger brother, now more confident, starts to stand up for himself, thanks to David's advice. When he's caught fighting back at school, the mother and David are called in. David proudly praises the boy in front of the school authorities, intimidating them into backing off any punishment. The young boy, grateful, tells David he trusts him. But later, he also confides in his sister, admitting he knows David isn't who he claims to be. Together, they connect the dots. Not only were the arms dealer and party guest likely killed by David, but so was the father's workplace rival. While David helps hang laundry outside, the army investigator arrives with a team. When they confirm David's identity, chaos erupts. David reacts swiftly, turning the house into a battlefield. The mother, in shock, runs inside. David, sensing she might alert others, takes her life. He flees in a stolen car, but the investigator gives chase. On the road, David crashes head-on into the father's car. As the wounded man tries to crawl out, David finishes him off. Soon after, David storms a restaurant where the daughter and her boyfriend had just met with a friend. To protect his secret, David eliminates the friend and leaves no witnesses. Now desperate, the investigator drives with the daughter to her brother's school. She begs for answers, and he finally tells her the truth. David was once a volunteer in a secret military experiment. During the trial phase, he became violent and escaped. To cover his tracks, he faked his death in a fire. The program had altered David's brain with a kill switch reflex. If his identity was at risk of being revealed, he'd automatically eliminate all witnesses, starting with the family he was supposed to protect. At the school, the son is preparing a Halloween maze. Suddenly, David arrives. Inside the maze, things turn chaotic. A teacher is taken out. The investigator tries to fight, but David is too fast. The daughter and her brother are now being hunted. She picks up the investigator's weapon and shoots David, knocking him down. But David, enhanced by the experiment, isn't so easily killed. He grabs her by the throat until the young boy stabs him from behind, with the very knife David once gifted him. David doesn't resist. Perhaps, deep down, he knows this isn't living anymore. As he collapses, he gives the boy a final look of approval. Soon, the police and firefighters arrive. But as the daughter watches the crowd, she spots one fireman limping away, and when she looks closer, her eyes widen in disbelief. It's David, alive and walking away once again. If you're handsome enough, no one cares if you're bad. Bad behavior, wrapped in charm, is still appetizing to some. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and support the channel.